PCN is brought to you in part by the following underwriters.
Welcome to another edition of PACTV Community News. Tonight, we meet the American Legion Baseball Organization, get an update on the Duxbury School construction project, and we'll hear a wrap-up from Kingston's town meeting.
We'll meet a local artist from Plymouth with an interesting family twist and learn about plovers, their habitats, and why we need to protect them.
Our arts and entertainment correspondent brings us a sampling of art from our towns.
And in our first story tonight, we bring you to the groundbreaking ceremony of the Kingston Collection Mall. The Independence Mall in Kingston took a big step last week with their groundbreaking ceremony to become the Kingston Collection. PCN was there for the action and to hear more about the construction plans and expected completion date.
I'm the Director of Marketing for Independence Mall, soon to be known the Kingston Collection. We have a lot of exciting things happening. We're redoing the whole outside of the mall to give it a Cape Cod feel. We have Mac Express coming, which is an Apple specialist. We have a new Newberry Comics, which is remodeling and expanding. We just announced today that Latitude 360 will be coming, which is a 40,000 square foot facility which incorporates luxury bowling, a high-end restaurant, theater, sports theater, and actually have live entertainment all weekend. And then we also are going to be bringing in Billy B's, which is a children's entertainment place with big slides and lots of things to climb on. They're all over the country, and we're really excited about bringing them in too. And over the next few months, we'll be announcing a lot of new fashion retailers in the outlet world, which will be really exciting and will be very good for the area.
Pyramid has fully recommitted both financial and people resources into rejuvenating this project, both because we believe in the marketplace and we believe in the concept that we're going to deliver here at this project. At Pyramid, we continually strive to be on the cutting edge of new trends in retail, dining, and entertainment facilities. And Lynn had mentioned our project in Syracuse, New York, which is the 6th largest retail, dining, and entertainment facility in the United States of America. And a lot of those concepts which have been proven there will be delivered here, and we'll start to see a lot of exciting new tenants opening here in the very near future.
The Best of Summer Ball is being played by the American Legion Baseball League. Pembroke's Post 143 team recently opened their season in what is considered to be a great recruiting spot for Major League Baseball. PCN stopped in to check out the game and its opening festivities.
Pembroke's taking the field. Thank you very much for supporting American Legion Baseball. Let's play ball, boys!
The Legion Baseball is a national program that's been going on for many, many years, and it's thought of very highly by the major leagues as a beginning recruiting spot for players to eventually go on to college and pro games.
Big day for him and you guys just follow suit, okay? And while you're standing out there and you're daydreaming, what you're supposed to be doing is think about the ball game.
And now from the Arthur Briggs Church Post 143 color guard from Pembroke.
I will keep the rules, keep a stout heart in defeat, keep the faith of my teammates, keep my pride under victory, keep my temper, keep a sound soul, a clean mind, and a healthy body, and keep myself fit.
We comprise at first of Pembroke kids, and then there's players from other towns that can't play for their towns, or if they go to a private school, they can come try out for us, and that's how we get the team together.
We'll try one. Pembroke has been sponsoring this team for about, I would say, 5 years. 5 or 6 years we've been sponsoring this team. And we make a donation to it, but they do much of the fundraising on their own. So the general manager is the high school baseball coach, so he comes with some good credentials.
Yep, I took it over about March or April of last year, and this is my first full year doing it.
Brendan Mulcahy, Garrison Oliver Jones, Sean Battalion, Owen McGrath, Evan Morris, and head coach Robert Flynn.
Tonight's starting pitcher is Chris O'Connor. He's a young man that's come over to us from Duxbury. There's some returning college players, Stephen Gerhardt and Evan Morris. And the others are all comprised of all from Pembroke High School. They played on the varsity roster this year.
For the land of the free and the home of the brave.
We consider Legion Baseball, it's one of the longest running leagues in Massachusetts and around the world, actually. And it's comprised of what they call the best for summer ball. There's not too many summer ball leagues for high school and college players. This is one where they can get together and just come in and play their game and have some fun.
Stephen Graham is a local Plymouth artist with a unique story to share, his uncle's story. Stephen's uncle, Richard Graham, was a closet artist from the Boston area. Richard had no art school education or training, only an incredible passion and imagination. Richard passed away in the 1990s, but left over 3,000 pieces of work hidden in his Cambridge home. Stephen, who was mentored by his great uncle is the sole advocate for his uncle's collection. The Massachusetts Art Institute came across Richard's work through Stephen and is purchasing pieces to use as teaching tools in their classes and to display in their galleries. PCN spoke with Stephen about the collection, his family, and the endless journey of Richard Graham art.
Well, what inspired my art was my uncle. You know, just years and years of it, you know. Going down the hall and seeing the man there in the red hat. All my life growing up, I'd see some of his pictures all over the place, you know. There was a lot of his work, you know, like the George Washington woodcuts and things like that were around the house that were decorative. Because most of you have seen some of his work, the more abstract. My family was understandable, but they said, I don't want that stuff on the, you know, on the walls. In order to make him have a fair shot at what the art world is, I need to have all his work in one spot. And then perhaps someone might look it over and find some merit in it. He lived on Dudley Street in Cambridge. I worked at a place called Brown and Wales Steel. It's a big steel mill that went under. And I would go over there on my bicycle as a teenager, pick up his notes, and then go up in the Harvard Square at Huntington Avenue. And there would be some art stores there. I forget the names. And I'd go in there with his list and stuff like that, which I couldn't pronounce half the things on it. Pick up this brush, pick up that, pick up this, and then I'd say, I'll see you back at Nana's and stuff. So I got to learn how to pronounce things, you know, phthalo-cyanide blue and things like that, alizarin crimson, so that when I would go and get my own stuff, I'd know what it was. I was like his, what would you say, protege or something, like just... I'd come back up there or something, and he'd pile up a bunch of books and put an easel on it, and he'd tell me what to paint and stuff. Not that I knew what I was doing. Just say, I like cadmium yellow, Steve. Put some cadmium yellow on that. Don't worry about the lines, you know. He'd say, Stephen, put the Beatles away. The classical music will take you further in life than any of that rock and roll stuff. You know, we'd just sit up there talking to Rain and all that, and today, even even later tonight, I'll be listening to 13th century Italian lute music. But I do because of him. It reminds me of him. Reminds me of that house, that classical in the house. Checker game. The guy in the upper right-hand corner is my great uncle. That's Bill. And I'm sure these are some of the guys that were hung out in the corner with my Uncle Robert. And you can see them cheating. He's grabbing a piece over here. You know what I mean? While he's looking at this guy, he's slipping a few pieces away, and this guy's unconscious, you know. But I think that's sort of a Van Gogh thing, sort of a Van Gogh type thing, but that was done for my uncle for a Christmas present. At the steel mills, they used to use cats to mouse the place, you know, and he'd take me inside there and say, "I didn't want to take one of these cats home. Your mother will kill you." So I just think Richard brought that up there just out of a comedy. Did that, something for my grandmother, and say, "Hey, Grace, here's another cat for you." You know, he had an uncanny ability of grabbing somebody in his face. My grandmother used to say, "No one does eyes like Richard. No one." For instance, in this boy, he's not too concerned with the background, but he is with those eyes. He'll freeze you right. I think he'd stop you right in your tracks there if you look at those eyes. But he doesn't seem to be too concerned with the rest of it. He catches your face, and I think that if that boy isn't looking right at you, this was done in '93, and he was dead, let's see, not too long after that. This is the north end. You can see the sort of the structure of Boston, and you can see way down the end there, at the end of the train, that the sky's on fire. And he's hoping that she can on a train to go to hell with these guys, you know. You want to join her? There's a seat for you to get in. The way my father was really an art critic. But when he saw that, he said, "Are you kidding me? What the hell kind of painting is that?" I said, "A good one." If you're going to be an artist or something, I think you got to think about it here and here. And I think you got to really want it, you know. The hell with Google. I mean, this stuff comes all the way up from the cave boys, you know what I mean? So draw, paint, grab something, draw on a wall, draw on your face, but draw. I think, you know, even guilty myself, where you can think too much. And like Richard said, don't think. The hell with it. The hell with the lines. Draw, paint.
Duxbury's new middle and high school building is now in the hands of the residents of the town. Finishing touches are still being taken care of, but school committee members, administration, and their families took PCN along on their first tour of this nearly $128 million project.
The new school is awesome. It's so aesthetically pleasing, fully functional. I know the town will be very proud of the work that the school building committee has done. There's been a lot of hard work put into this building.
We started this project about 5 years ago. We started out with a feasibility study, and then it went into schematic design, and then voter approval for funding and final design, and 2 years of construction. And this is one of the features of a green building that you see here in the courtyard. This is the south-facing wall, and what's called sunshades have been installed over the windows on the outside. On the inside are sun shelves, and what they do is they direct the light into the sun shelf, and it bounces off and gets back into the room so that the bright light gets deeper into the room, and hopefully we have a lot more days that we don't need to use artificial lighting, and we can use the natural lighting to provide lighting for the classrooms. At this point, we have received the temporary certificate of occupancy, which is a very exciting milestone in the project. It means that the town can take over the building and can occupy the building. We're in the process of completing some miscellaneous punch list work, painting, trim, things like that, trying to finish up the last little bits and pieces before the school moves in. Over the course of the summer, the new equipment comes in, the new furniture comes in, everything gets put in the different classrooms, and we set up for school opening. The project was delivered to the town ahead of schedule, and so far we're running under budget. So it's all good at this point. We chose the colors. We worked with Mount Vernon Group Architects to select the palette to kind of go with the the sky and the sea and the earth around us, you'll see throughout the building the natural tones, the greens, the tans, the blues, and really harmonize with our beautiful environment around us as well. The floor is constructed of an epoxy terrazzo. It will last forever. It will last longer than the building will last. And it is designed to parallel the shoreline of our Duxbury Beach. So it actually has the same outline of the beach with the different areas demarked. We have the road shown within the length of the concourse, the beach, the ocean, the bay, and the upland area. So it's pretty neat. And we even have a plover.
It's pretty incredible. I've seen all the drawings of it and all the renditions. I've seen all the plans, but it's still pretty crazy to see it in real life for the first time.
Can't wait to see the kids come through the door and capture their excitement and awe at this new building.
The kids I know are going to love it. They'll have completely natural lighting, will be high-tech throughout the whole building.
It's a giant improvement over what we have currently.
Oh, it's stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. It's definitely going to be the pride of Duxbury for sure.
August 28th, we have the ribbon cutting where representatives from the state and from Mass School Building Authority will be down to help us open up the building. We'll have tours for the general public at that time, and during that week we'll also have some open houses to allow the students to find their way around the new building.
The town of Kingston voted on its $39 million budget on June 2nd at the conclusion of their annual town meeting. Two items were up for reconsideration, Article 47 and Article 45. Article 47 was a request to change the current bylaw to allow for digging agriculturally certified projects, such as a proposed trout farm into the water table. The initial fear was the proposed projects would cause damage to the water table, but after new information was presented by various government agencies and consultants, an amendment was added. The motion carried 140 to 26, allowing for the selectmen to allow digging by permit. Article 45, which passed with a majority vote in April, creating a zero tolerance on flicker for newly placed turbines, was overturned after a vote to reconsider. The new vote on the article resulted in a count of 76-72, but needed a two-thirds majority to pass. Therefore, the zero tolerance on flicker article was turned down. Setting up the funds for the dredging of Kingston Bay was also voted on favorably. $150,000 was approved to begin the permitting process, which includes testing of the sediment. The Bay or Jones River has not been officially dredged in 50 years. Dredging will prevent the channel from becoming filled and preventing boats from passing. The financial weight of the dredging project will be shared with neighboring coastal towns, and a vote to officially join the Plymouth County effort will be next year. The special town meeting was opened with two heavily followed items being considered. The Affordable Housing Trust passed after being rewritten, tightening up the responsibilities and restrictions of the trustees, with $550,000 in the housing bucket from the Community Preservation Act. Ken Stevens, town treasurer, made a friendly amendment to include that the trust may not at any time employ people and that their funding sources and decisions were totally independent of the town, keeping the town's credit clear. Any housing monies proposed must now be presented to the CPC and then, if deemed necessary, brought to town meeting for the decision. The Silver Lake School Committee had an item asking for a capital stabilization fund requiring a two-thirds vote from the three towns involved. Kingston was the deciding vote. Capital stabilization funds are designed to set aside money for future unseen needs and to equalize the effect of capital expenditures. In essence, it creates a rainy day fund for future needs or capital projects. With the lack of mentioned intention for the funds, the Board of Selectmen and Finance Committee turned it down after deciding that it would be best to vote on the issue rather than making it a budget line item.
Plovers are a small coastal bird that inhabits the beaches in our areas every spring and summer. They are currently on the endangered species list and have federally mandated protections in place that residents and towns abide by closing areas of beaches for certain nesting time frames. PCN met up with local officials to learn more about this bird, its habitats, and the importance of protecting them.
There are 53 species of shorebirds that live in North America, and there's some number of them that nest on beaches, and piping plovers happen to be one of those species that nest right on beaches.
So each season, the piping plovers in Massachusetts come back, arriving on our beaches in early to mid-April, starting their nests. And it can be difficult because all of a sudden all the beachgoers who are looking forward to the summer season see the signs, see the fencing up, and you'll have areas of the beaches that are closed off to them.
Shorebirds in general, including those that nest just on the beach, have many threats to their survival. So there are pressures on these birds to survive and exist. They are an endangered species protected by federal law under the Endangered Species Act.
So piping plovers were placed on the federal endangered species list in the mid-1980s because their population was really declining, and there was a scientific research had indicated that they really were not going to survive without some human intervention.
Lots of birds get fed in the nest, but these guys need a lot of habitat, beach habitat to run around on. And they can't nest anywhere below where the tide would be coming into. So they're on the upper beaches. The dry sand beaches is where they actually lay their eggs. Each beach has some little bit of habitat on it that the birds can actually use. So it's a pretty finite resource for them. They nest, they breed, they raise their chicks right on the sand.
Each summer, the biologists that Mass Audubon works with and hires are working with the local landowners, towns, and local beach associations to collect the data. That data then is sent to landowners who have certain federal regulations that they need to follow as far as how far the fencing is out, what's signed, when beach closures might be necessary. And landowners then take the data that we provide and make a decision based on federal regulations and state regulations about what action they need to take to safeguard these birds. The fencing that you see on the beaches is protecting their nesting habitat as well as the areas where they forage or where they look for food, which is usually along the high tide line and down along the mud flats.
The birds don't have other places to go. They live only on the beach, and they nest and raise their chicks only in sandy areas. And so there's limited habitat, and then you add the pressures of growing human population and the pressures of increasing ground predators, and maintaining the species is quite a challenge.
In the summertime, people are out and about enjoying the sunshine and reveling in the bright green leaves and beautiful landscape that has emerged out of the rainy, cold springtime. New Englanders especially have a real appreciation for the variety of life that has sprung out of the cold dirt. So it's no wonder that the South Shore has seeded in its brow all kinds of artistic styles and mediums. From expert crafted pottery to quaint and elegant fine art pieces depicting local landscapes, PCN has found an artistic medium for every wandering summer day tripper. Nestled on the back quiet roads of Pembroke, local pottery located at 26 Washington Street is a hidden gem of expertly handcrafted pottery. Lisa Howard, owner and artist, has been operating her working studio and artisan gallery since 1996. Her mission has been simple: to provide the local community with access to finely crafted art pottery, as well as ceramic art studio in which it is made. Lisa, as an artist, lives by her belief that the transformation of quality materials through skilled craftsmanship and human creativity can enhance our experience in meaningful ways. The gallery has potteries of all shapes and sizes, of both functional and aesthetic purposes, from both Lisa as well as artists in the surrounding areas. At Local Pottery, you walk away with not only the feeling of seeing truly functional art, but art that has grown from a love of craft and the local community. Duxbury, home to sweeping oceanic views as well as meticulously kept historic architecture, is also home to longtime art instructor and fine artist Bettina M. Lasieur. Her artistic medium, oil and canvas, though considered traditional, is fueled by her genuine love for her unique environment and the natural landscape. Whether it be Duxbury Beach or a cascading Mediterranean village she came across in her global travels, Bettina possesses a natural ability to express her inherent connection she feels with the world around her. Inspired by the South Shore, Bettina teaches as well as displays her artwork in her gallery in Duxbury, where she resides. There you can vividly view colored panoramic landscapes and depictions of the local and foreign destinations she has visited. What becomes stunningly clear to any spectator viewing Bettina's work is an experience of seeing new worlds for the first time, or seeing a place that you have seen 100 times, but in a new and vibrant light. Keep in mind the first weekend in August, Bettina will be hosting her annual summer art exhibit at her gallery, open to the public. For further information about this event, please visit her website. Back in 2013, PCN visited S.J. Davis Glass Studio in Kingston and wanted to revisit some of the unique beauty of the ancient and delicate art of glass blowing. Glass blowing is an art form that dates back to the middle of the 1st century BC. The general practice of glass blowing is when glassmiths take pieces of molten glass and puff small amounts of air into them and then further manipulate the hot glass into anything from sculptures to glassware for general use. S.J. Davis Glass, like other artists mentioned, breathes life into his art out of a deep connection with the general world around him. Davis's view of the world is that the imagination is what allows us all to perceive nature in so many different ways, whether it is the written word or art in any medium. S.J. Davis's studio is on Main Street in Kingston. His pieces include everything from doorknobs to sculptured interpretations of nature. South Shore native Ed Newt has been mixing his artistic talent for photography with the commercial world of marketing. You may have seen pieces of Ed Newt's photography and not even know it. Ed works out of his Plymouth studio on Union Street, where he has been styling food and staging products for years. There is no project too big or too small for the artistic visionary to create pieces of both artistic balance and commercial value. Ed has worked with companies such as Ocean Spray Cranberries, Whole Foods, Plymouth Plantation, Dunkin' Donuts, and South Shore Living magazine. His ability to capture life in anything extends beyond the commercial. His personal passion for music photography has allowed him to photograph musicians from all over the area. Whether it's an album cover or a candid, Ed's photography gives the feeling of hearing sound in each still, an emotion that carries over into his entire body of work. That concludes our Summer Arts and Entertainment preview, highlighting the different mediums of the South Shore. I'm Maureen Bates, and back to the news.
Thanks for watching this week's edition of PACTV Community News. Replay times are listed on our website, pactv.org. Click the PCN tab to watch individual stories or the entire program.
You can also watch us on YouTube by searching for the PACTV Community News channel. And be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter to receive previews and links to all our stories.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week on PACTV Community News.